On November 29, 2017, Vincent Ebron and Max Black exchanged text messages about a bet the two agreed on. On November 30th, 2017, at approximately 4:30 p.m., the two were at the park where the argument continued. They began fighting, and suddenly Vince pulled out a gun and shot Max in the chest. Seconds later, Max was pronounced dead at the scene. There were many witnesses on the scene. Hours later, Andy Hood, a mutual friend of Vince and Max, was found dead in his room, and a letter was obtained involving the initial altercation.
Prosecution, are you ready to deliver your opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
On November 30th, 2017, Max Black was shot and killed at the scene with a gun in the possession of Vince Ebron. Today we are here to examine the facts of Max Black's death and who is responsible, and find justice for the 14-year-old boy whose life ended abruptly.
Defense, are you ready to deliver your opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Gono, and it is my pleasure to represent Vince Ebron in this very important case. The defendant stands accused of murder, a very serious crime. Throughout the course of this trial, we will show that the prosecution lacks sufficient evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty of the alleged crime.
Prosecution, are you ready to bring up your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to bring Angel Hall as my first witness.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may proceed.
May you state your name for the court?
Angel Hall.
What is your occupation?
I'm a pathologist.
What college did you attend?
I attended Howard University for 6 years.
While attending, what did you study?
I studied biology, chemistry, and forensic science.
Okay, so what did you receive your master's in?
I received my master's in science and the bachelor's of science.
How long have you been practicing in this field?
I've been practicing for 16 years.
Is it safe to say you are well aware of the human body and can successfully perform an autopsy?
Yes, I'm a well-qualified, and I have completed over 100 successful autopsies.
Being as though you have completed over 100 autopsies, have you ever had an autopsy fail?
No, sir. I take my job very seriously, and I have never came across an unsuccessful autopsy in all my years of practicing.
Your Honor, may I present Ms. Hall as an expert witness?
You may proceed.
So based on this picture shown, I'd like to bring these into exhibit. Those pictures are crimes of the scene. They're relevant because they show what actually happened to the body, that the actual body is dead. It doesn't violate any constitutional requirements under Rule 402 and under 403. It is more probative than prejudicial because there's no horrific scenes. It is just the body covered up, so therefore it does not prejudicially hurt the defendant. So, based on these pictures shown, to your expertise, what can you conclude was the cause of death?
Well, after conducting the autopsy, I can positively identify that due to the ligature marks on the wrist, there was a struggle, and based on the bullet wound to the chest, that was the initial cause of the death, and the death was an instant kill.
No further questions.
Prosecution, do you want to cross-examine the witness?
Defense.
The defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. Ms. Hall, you told us that you've been practicing pathology for 16 years, correct?
Correct.
Is it also correct that you stated that in your 16 years of performing over 100 autopsies that you've never failed?
This is true.
Mrs. Hall, have you ever made a mistake in your life?
Yes, I have.
Then is it reasonable to assume that everyone, including professionals, make mistakes?
Yeah, that may be reasonable.
Well, then how is it that you're able to say in confidence that you've never made a single error in 16 years and in over 100 autopsies? And with that being said, you've never been asked or invited to present on your expertise throughout your 16 years of practicing. Is that also reasonable?
Yes, that may be reasonable.
No further questions, Your Honor?
Prosecution, do you have any more witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to bring Brittany Hudson to the stand as my second witness.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Brittany Hudson,
And how old are you?
50 years old.
Where do you live?
I live in Dover, Delaware.
And how long have you lived there?
About 20 years.
What were you doing at the time of the incident?
I was taking a stroll through the neighborhood.
Okay. Your Honor, may I present Brittany Hudson as a lay witness?
You may.
What did you see at the time of the crime?
I seen two young men like wrestling like they were fighting.
Did you see Vince shoot Max?
Yes,
Did you see Vince standing over Max?
yes, and Max never got up.
Thank you. No more further questions.
Defense, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Hudson, where were you at the time of the alleged altercation between Vince and Max?
I was at the entrance of the park.
And is it true that you wear eyeglasses, Ms. Hudson?
Yes,
And for how long have you been wearing eyeglasses?
about 10 years.
So is it true that you can't see clearly from a far distance?
That's correct.
And at the time of the altercation, did you have your eyeglasses on?
No, I did not.
Your Honor, I would like to approach the witness for a demonstration.
You may proceed.
Ms. Hudson, can you please remove your eyeglasses? Are you able to clearly read what is written on this paper?
No, I cannot.
Okay, so is it safe to say that if you can't see what's written on this paper, that you wouldn't have been able to clearly see what was happening at the entrance of the park when the altercation happened at the end of the soccer field?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I would like to impeach this witness. Due to the demonstration, it proves that she lacks sufficient eyesight to have seen what was clearly going on, and this shows that she lacks credibility and she lacks personal knowledge.
I'll allow it.
No further questions, Your Honor?
Prosecution, do you have any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, are you ready to bring up your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to bring my first witness to the
The
stand.
whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may be seated.
Can you please state your name for the court?
Dejan Robert.
And how do you know the deceased, Max Black?
Me and Max are classmates for 4 years.
Throughout your 4 years of knowing Max, were there any signs of aggression?
Yes, I see Max get some arguments and they led to fist fights.
Okay, and have you ever personally been in a fight with Max?
Yes, we had a fist fight and it was all because of an argument.
So is it safe to say that Max has a history of being violent?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor?
Prosecution, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lowry, have you ever been in trouble in school?
Yes.
How many times have you been suspended?
Twice.
How many times have you gotten into a fight?
At least 4 times.
So is it safe to say that you're no better than him?
Yes.
No more further questions.
Defense, do you have any more witnesses?
I would like to call Vince to the stand.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may be seated.
Could you please state your first and last name for the court?
Vincent Ebron,
And could you please tell us your home address?
120 North State Street, Dover, Delaware, 19901.
And Vince, are you currently enrolled in high school?
Yes, I go to Dover High School.
Okay. Your Honor, I would like to show on the record that the witness is competent. Vince, how long have you known Max?
For about 3 years.
And have you and Max been friends since you've known him?
Pretty much, yes.
And what type of friendship would you consider this to be? Was he a close friend, or did you guys just see each other every once in a while?
He's a close friend.
So you and Max hung out relatively often?
A lot, actually.
Okay. And have you and Max ever been involved in any type of gambling or betting?
Yeah, we bet before, but it was never over like money.
So what type of things would you bet over then?
Food from the cafeteria or just like playing cards.
And have you and Max ever been in an altercation?
A couple times, but it was never too serious.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you, where were you? Do you recall where you were November 30th, 2017 at around 4:30?
I was at basketball practice.
No further questions, John?
Prosecution, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ebron, so you said that you were at basketball practice at 4:30,
Yes.
and that was on November 30th, 2017?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would like to administer this evidence into exhibit. This is the police report from November 30th, 2017. The police report is relevant because it is a recounting of what happened and what the police had to work with. The report also shows that the incident happened and that this is the closest that we have to the actual we've seen. It does not violate any constitutional violations and any requirements. This evidence is more probative than prejudicial just because it is the actual police report that was brought to the state. Also, once again, it's the closest we have to the scene and without witness or, messing up or remembering or mentioning. So, the crime report says that at 4:45, you were at Silver Lake Park. So how can it be that you had basketball practice that started at 4:30, but we're at Silver Lake Park at 4:45? It would make it physically impossible.
Yeah. Is that practice?
So how can you be at practice, but the police have you at the scene of the crime?
I don't know.
So you're lying. So were you lying then or are you lying now?
I was never lying, I was telling the truth.
But how can you physically be in two places at the same time?
I was at basketball practice.
Okay. I like to admit the gun into evidence. The gun is relevant because this is the murder weapon. It doesn't violate any constitutional requirements. The evidence is more probative than prejudicial because the gun holds DNA and fingerprint evidence that matched the bullet that was found in Max. It shows that Vince shot Max and was well confirmed the gun was used against Max. The evidence is vital to trying the case and the gun is the center of the incident. Then she said that she was at basketball practice at 4:30.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to put in the case report into evidence. The police report is relevant because it's recounting of what happened and what the police worked with. The police also show that it happened in the exact time and date of the crime. It does not violate any constitutional requirements. The evidence is more probative than prejudicial because it's the actual police report that was brought to the state and is the closest that we have to the scene. So, in this police report, Vince, it shows that you was at the scene at 4:45 on November 30th, 2017. That would conflict with your basketball time. How is that so?
I was at basketball practice.
Okay, so you're lying now, or are you lying then?
I was not lying.
Either way, you're lying, but we'll proceed. Have you ever used a gun?
Yes.
Why do you have a gun?
Make me feel safe when I'm walking by myself.
So do you feel threatened?
Sometimes.
Are you bigger than Max Black?
Yes.
Are you older than Max Black?
Yes.
Are you stronger than Max Black?
Yes.
Have you ever gotten angry?
Sometimes.
What did you contribute to the fight?
Just pushed him.
So did you assume that someone would get hurt?
Maybe, I don't know.
So you assumed the risk as well?
Yeah.
How many fights have you been in?
5.
How many have you lost?
Only 2.
How many have you won?
3.
Your Honor, I'd like to admit these text messages into evidence. Vince, could you read these for me? To recollect your memory, just yours.
First message.
So that was supposed to be the
You need to meet me at the playground right now. And I said, we
Did they
have
open up the
unfinished
wrong
business, hurry
room?
up. And then I said, you know what I'm talking about. The money you owe me from the damn Madden game. You owe me $50. Give me my money. Of course, he denied it. And he said, I told him we shook hands on it, so of course we did.
Thank you. So do you think that you won this fight?
I mean, I don't know. I guess.
No more further questions. I would also like to admit into evidence the gun that was at the crime scene. The gun is relevant because it was the murder weapon. It doesn't violate any constitutional rights or violations. The evidence is more probative than prejudicial because the gun holds DNA fingerprints that match the bullet that was found on Max that connected to Vince. This also shows that Vince shot Max and well confirms the gun was used. The evidence is vital to trying the case for the gun as the center of the incident. With that being said, have you ever used a gun?
Yes.
Why do you have a gun?
I don't know. When I'm walking by myself,
So, do you feel threatened?
sometimes.
Were you bigger than Max Black?
Yes.
Were you stronger than Max Black?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten angry?
Plenty of times.
So what contributed to the fight?
I mean, I just pushed him. But that's about it. I didn't shoot him.
Did you know that one of you would get hurt?
No, not really.
So you just assumed the risk?
Yeah, I guess.
How many fights have you been in?
At least 5.
How many have you lost?
Only 2.
How many have you won?
3.
So have you won in this fight?
I mean, I don't know.
No further questions.
Defense, do you have any more witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to admit this letter into testimony. Andy Hood.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. Under Rule 802, hearsay is not admissible except as provided by these rules or by the other prescribed by the Supreme Court pursuant to statutory authority or by acts of Congress.
Your Honor, pursuant to Rule 804B, this letter of testimony is allowed because the witness is a decedent. Can I proceed?
I'll allow it.
This letter is from Andy Hood. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm writing this letter because I can no longer take the guilt. My two friends have been beefing, and instead of calming it down, I let it continue. Max just gets so mad and has really been aggressive towards all of us, but Vince wasn't going to back down from the fight. I saw Vince kill Max in front of me, and it's my fault. I wish I had been stronger and broke them up, but instead Max still wanted to fight. I didn't know what to do, and now Max is dead. I wish I could take it all back, and it's all my fault. I don't deserve to live. Please forgive me for what I'm about to do. I love you and will always love you. No further questions, Your Honor?
Defense, are you ready to deliver your closing statement?
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, in closing, I would like to ask you to carefully consider the evidence that has been presented today, or lack thereof, when you reach your final decision. The prosecution did not produce evidence that meets the burden of proof, which is beyond a reasonable doubt. The allegations brought forth against the defendant are indeed serious, so I ask that you take the utmost consideration in delivering a verdict.
Prosecution, are you ready to deliver your closing statement?
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, the burden of proof in this case is beyond reasonable doubt, which means that you have to be almost certain that the man you see before you is the right guy. Beyond reasonable doubt is driving 65 miles per hour and having to stop 8 feet before the stop sign. The probability of you running the stop sign is also definite. That also means you have to be this sure that this guy is the right guy. The life of this child has been cut short. He is no longer able to graduate from high school, go to college, have children, get married, obtain his dreams. All the things are distant memories which are now an imitation of life. Max Black is gone, and all that's left is the horrors of his absence that looms throughout his family and friends' existence. Vince Ebron held the life of Max Black in the palm of his hand and crushed it, leaving nothing but residue of metal bullets, and a reminder that Vince Ebron shot and killed Max Black in cold, heart-depraved, and unscrupulous murder. The prosecution rests.